Hi, my name's Carla Wright, and this is my presentation of the decline of the orange-bellied parrot in Tasmania, South Australia and Victoria. The orange-bellied parrot is a critically endangered species and is the most endangered bird in Australia. Currently there are less than 70 orange-bellied parrots left in the wild. They are very vulnerable to being extinct from a numerous number of threats, which may include habitat loss or modification, various diseases, predators and competitors, barriers to migration and inbreeding, and the decline could also be the loss of genetic diversity and climate change. The habitat loss and degradation, particularly in the non-breeding range, has caused a decline, and the female breeding, which could be due to improper management of habitat or by being drought affected and therefore low food availability, would also be another factor in the decline. Their breeding grounds are known in Malacluda, which is situated in southwest of Tasmania. In the spring and summer, they breed in the southwest, and in the winter and autumn they migrate to South Australia and coastal Victoria and usually stay within 3 kilometres of the coastline, where they forage on weedy pastures and salt marsh vegetation. The nesting habitat is high in the hollows of mature eucalypt trees close to their feeding plains, and normally they are found on or in the low ground searching foliage for food. Generally just before dawn or after they feed and rest quietly, they have a resting period mid-morning, and they prefer areas in the early breeding season that have been burnt 7 to 15 years previously, and mid-breeding season they will search for areas that are 3 to 5 years post-fire. Interventions to help manage the conservation of the threatened orange-bellied parrot are critical toward population recovery and effective species recovery, like this project identifies that factors such as weakening decline, and to implement selected conservation action to alleviate ongoing pressures on the populations, although in some instances this is not always achievable for the species such as the orange-bellied parrot because of lacking detailed data on demographic processes and ecological. The main reasoning and the activation for the project was a decline of the wild population of the species. There was a decline of the female to only 3 wild born and only 13 males. The aim for this was to trial new approaches to alleviate reproductive success of the nest that was done using 2 approaches. Number 1, intervention in the wild nests where there had been infertility or small sized broods, and then the fertile eggs or nestlings were fostered. Number 2, by rescue, meaning the wild born nestlings will be taken out of the nests and either fostered to another nest or hand reared to help survival. These approaches aren't in any way new because they have been successful when trialled and implemented on other species, but because of the orange-bellied parrot does present with a considerable conservation management. Because they live in remote, hard to access locations across a very large geographical ranges rather than alone or island dwelling birds where they are easy to access, it may take more difficult approaches to carry out these projects. The Tasmanian government has collaborated with the species covered recovery team in ongoing complementary work with the orange-bellied parrots into the approach to saving these precious birds. These approaches aren't in any way new because they have been successful when trialled and implemented on other species. The Tasmanian government has collaborated with the species recovery team in ongoing complementary work with the orange-bellied parrot into saving these precious birds. Thanks for listening to my presentation of the orange-bellied parrot, and let's hope these beautiful species are around for many years to come.